What's up everyone, my name's Alpha and today we're back with another Pokemon challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon Moon and today's challenge will be, can I beat Pokemon Moon Hardcore Nuzlocke using only red shiny colored Pokemon, or red color shiny. Anyways, a model color run. We actually have done this in the past, but we haven't done this on Pokemon Moon, and it's gonna be really interesting. Specifically because I was looking up ideas for videos, and I realized that I've done like almost every single possible typing for Pokemon Moon. So I gotta be more creative in the future. But anyways, the rule set for this video is gonna be like always, it's a hardcore Nuzlocke. So on screen right now are gonna be the rules. So I can only catch one Pokemon per route, and they must be a red color shiny. So what's a red shiny? By our definition, as long as it changes some parts of it into red while it's shiny from its base form into a shiny form, then it's considered a red shiny Pokemon. It doesn't have to be majority of the body, it just has to have a lot of red at least. That's just up for interpretation, so I could be lenient with the rules. And as well, if my Pokemon ever faints, they are dead. I have to box them, they cannot be used ever again. And as well, there's gonna be a level cap. The level cap is different since this is Sun and Moon. This can be based on each island's kahuna, so it's the highest level on each kahuna's team per island, so it's gonna be interesting. And on top of that, there's no items inside of battle. You can use hell items, but you can't use bag items, and you have to play on set mode. It's very difficult, but a lot of fun. Included in this rule set is gonna be each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments. So thank you so much for leaving a comment in my previous challenge video. If you guys want to be nicknamed after your future Pokemon, just drop in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while you're down there, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Anyways, let's get into the challenge video itself. Being off, there is no red shiny Pokemon as the starter Pokemon, so I decided, well, Incineroar, but I don't want to do Incineroar. Is Incineroar even red? It's kind of orangish, it's more white, so I don't think it counts as a red shiny, and more people will be upset about that. But besides that, we're gonna go out into Route 1, which we're able to shiny hunt at nighttime for a specific Pokemon, which is gonna be Alolan Rattata. So we're gonna find ourselves a red shiny Alolan Rattata in the wild. We're gonna add it to our team, and that's gonna be our very first Pokemon. So as a starter Pokemon, it actually works out pretty well. It beats down the Pokemon School, which surprisingly, it actually did pretty well against the Pokemon School and against Alima, which I don't know why Alima's even like a battle you face off against. I forgot the lore. But anyways, we face off against Alima, and we're gonna head into Route 2. In Route 2, there's actually a second Pokemon we can shiny hunt for. I don't know why I'm running around. Obviously, I'm not doing a good job shiny hunting for it, because it's only available in the rustling grass. As you can see, it's gonna be a shiny Makuhita that's available for us. We're gonna quickly add that to our team because that's gonna be our second Pokemon, and it's also gonna carry us for our first trial in the game. Our first trial and totem fight is going to be against this Alolan Raticate, which our Makuhita destroys easily. As you see, just one cycles it with arm thrust, and we're able to beat down the Alolan Raticate without any issues at all. Now the real issue for this is actually facing off against Hyla. Hala is giving me the first kahuna in the game, and we're going to start the battle off against him using my Makuhita. Obviously, my Rattata is normal and dark type, so it's not going to do too well against him, so our Makuhita has to come up big. And looking up, a fake out into a Brick Break will knock out Hala's Mankey first, and then he's going to switch out into his Makuhita, which I am able to just two-shot him with 2 Brick Breaks. He does get a Sand Attack off against me, which is kind of annoying. I'm able to knock him out in the following turn, and from there his final Pokemon will be his Crab Brawler, which is actually the strongest Pokemon. He's going to end up all out pummeling me. He's going to end up almost one-shotting me. Lucky enough I survive it, but I am unable to knock him out with 1 Brick Break. I'm able to get another Brick Break off, and unfortunately, a Power Punch with a Leer will actually knock out my Makuhita, so we already have a death. We need to land this Hyper Fang or we lose the game, and we have to restart. Lucky enough, we land the Hyper Fang, and we're able to knock out the Crab Brawler as we're able to beat down Hala, the first kahuna in the game. We already have a death, which is very bad. But you know what? We had to get through it. I think it'll be easier on from Hala. Once we beat Hala, the level cap jumps up. We're able to evolve our Rattata into Eradicate, which is very nice. It still stays red. And from there, we're going to face off against the Totem Wishy-Washy in the second trial. We have to face off against this because it's part of the story. But also, we get a nice item after this. This Wishy-Washy, lucky enough, soaks us. And then from there, he starts growling me, and I keep missing Hyper Fang. Lucky enough, I'm able to crit him a lot of times with Focus Energy. And eventually, I'm able to knock out the Wishy-Washy Totem. And from there, we get the Fishing Rod from Lana. And we can finally go back into the ranch area, and we can go into this pond and then start shiny hunting here. Now, I'm actually the worst fisherman you've ever seen. As you can see, couldn't fish a single Pokemon for the longest time because I'm terrible at this. But eventually, we're going to find ourselves a shiny Magikarp in the wild. Though it's a golden color, we're not going to actually use the Magikarp. We're going to evolve it quickly, evolve it into a Gyarados, which makes a red Gyarados. So obviously, it's a red shiny only. Of course, we're going to use Gyarados, you know, part of the plan. From there, we're gonna go into the West Volcano Peak. And in the grass area, there's one other red Pokemon that we can get in here, which is going to be a shiny Fletchling. It's not too difficult to get. It's kind of more of an orange, but it'll get more red as you go on. So just be patient with me, guys. I'm not colorblind, I promise. From there, we're actually going to go back into the Brooklyn Hills and get ourselves the Skull TM and teach that to our Gyarados unironically, because Gyarados doesn't have any water moves at right now. So Scald is actually the best move we have, and it does a lot of damage because Gyarados is just a strong Pokemon to begin with, so it's nice to have. We're gonna face up against the Totem Salazzle, and with 2 skulls, it looks like it should be actually 3 skulls. It should be able to kill the Salazzle. As you can see, it's gonna boost its special attack, which is fine. I'm able to live anything, and the skull will knock him out pretty easily. As we're able to beat down a Fire Totem, and from there we can move on into the Grass Totem, and on Akala Island, for every trial in Totem Pokemon, we use a different Pokemon, so it's pretty nice. We're using a lot of diversity. Now from there, we're able to face off against the Grass Lurantis Totem. We're able to go for flame charges against him, and then his own teammate used Sunny Day, boost my fire moves, and I have a Charcoal and it just knocks him out easily. So we're able to beat down the Lurantis and then knock out the Castform with Eradicate, and we're able to beat down the Grass Totem, which is pretty easy. Now from there, we can go into the Stone place. I don't know the town name at all, but I went to the Stone location, try to buy a fossil. Unfortunately, I'm not the smartest man alive because I obviously forgot which stone is in which game. So I played Moon because I thought I had a Skull fossil in Pokemon Moon, but apparently it doesn't. So I had to cheat a little bit. So I gave myself the Skull fossil because obviously we're not gonna restart the game and play in Sun. So we're gonna restart Shiny Hunt for this Cranidos. At least it'll be a little quick because they showed you a little preview. And eventually we're gonna find ourselves a Cranidos, and it's a red shiny, surprisingly enough. Really cool. From there, we can go into Route 9 and start fishing once again. Now, for this attempt, you have to fish for Corsola, which is, I think, 5% encounter rate, which is okay, not too bad. It's not the worst thing. But then you have to go into an SOS fight, essentially just making him call in for a new Pokemon. And you have to hope that it's a Marini, which is a low chance anyways. And also you have to hope that it's shiny. Now, unfortunately, I kept doing this. I was not getting anywhere for hours. I was like, this Corsola is the worst thing. Not only do I have to reset, I have to also make sure I don't go over the level, because I'm at the level cap with most of my Pokemon. So it was very hard to even chain. So I was getting very frustrated. Eventually, I cracked. I'm so sorry, everyone. I turned on Action Replay. I turned on everything shiny. I made everyone shiny. So it spawned into a shiny Marini. I had to fess up. It's just, I've done this in the past. It wasn't too difficult. I don't know why this attempt was so difficult. Nothing was working. I also couldn't chain that high since my Pokemon were at the level cap basically, so I couldn't even chain that high. It was so annoying. I planned this terribly, so that's on me. I had to cheat for this shiny Pokemon, but trust me, I won't do that again. Super annoying shiny, so I'm sorry about that. Anyways, we're gonna move on and face up against Olivia. Olivia is the next Kahuna in the island. Olivia is also a rock type Kahuna, and we're gonna start the battle off against her using my Marini. Number one, I went for Toxic Spikes just to get her other Pokemon Toxics, and then I was like, what? It has Limber as an ability? I did not know Marini and Toxapex has Limber. I always thought it was Merciless and Regenerator. So surprisingly, I have Limber, and it actually came in handy a lot of different times. So we're able to 2-shot into the Nose Pass and also the Boldore, and her final Pokemon will be a Lichen Rock. I know I could survive her Z move, her Continental Crush at full HP. Now that it hit me, doesn't look like I can live anything. So it's gonna Z move me into my Gyarados, which is fine because I did have Intimidated off against him. It's super effective, so it kind of counteracts it, as I'm able to barely survive at 22 HP. From there, I can switch out into my other Pokemon. I switch out to my Eradicate, which is able to knock out her Lichen Rock, which we're able to beat down, and we're able to beat down Olivia. The level caps can jump up a little bit as we can go out into the Electric Trial, which my Rampardos, which I evolved from my Cranidos, has a nice little spotlight as we're able to beat down the Vigavolt in the Electric Trial pretty easily. From there, we can go into Route 14, and we're going to start shiny hunting out here for our last shiny Pokemon, which is going to be a shiny Pancham. Super easy to get because, you know, I don't have to SOS train. Also, I'm under the level cap, you know. Super easy to find, as you can see. And we have to add it to our team. It's not that red, it's more brown, but it will evolve and get more red later, so don't worry about that. From there, we can face off against the Mimikyu Totem in the Ghost Trial. We're here to start the battle off against the Mimikyu using my Rampardos to use Rock Tomb. Oh, my Rampardos has Mowbray. That's why it didn't break its disguise. I didn't realize that the entire time. I was like, why is this head not broken? And why is this disguise is not broken? So my Rampardos got damage off of it because it has Mold Breaker. I'm able to switch into my Marini, get some Toxic off, which was a waste. I go into my Gyarados to lower his attack stat, and then from there my Talonflame will break the disguise. That's why I was wondering why his head's not broken. Once I break the disguise with my Talonflame, I'm able to knock him out pretty easily. I completely forgot that Rampardos has Mold Breaker and it goes through Mimikyu's disguise, so that's actually very interesting. Completely forgot about that. Now from there we're going to face off against Guzma, which is a pretty easy fight, as my team is fully evolved finally, and then we're going to face off against Nanu. Nanu's gonna be the dark type Kahuna in the game. We're gonna start the battle off against him using my cheated in Toxapex. I'm able to knock down the Sableye to low HP and switch out into my Eradicate, which I'm gonna double into my Gyarados. He unfortunately he gets swaggered, but I'm able to, wow, he doesn't attack at all. So I have to switch into my Pangoro. Pangoro will fix this, knock out the Krokorok at least. He's gonna switch out into his Persian, which I have nothing to fear, I don't think. So I take a Power Gem and then 2-shot him, which is pretty easy. Okay, I don't know why I switched out. That's a big throw, but switch out to my Eradicate and we'll Sucker Punch him and we'll still knock out the Persian. Anyways, we're going to beat down Nanu and we're going to go into the Aether Foundation, which we're going to clear through Lusamine pretty easily. We're also clear through Guzman in here, so super easy fights as we're going to face off against Hapu next. Hapu is the final Kahuna in the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Gyarados. Now Gyarados is probably the best Pokemon in the game. Gyarados is able to go for a Dragon Dance, finally got the move, and we're able to just go for, actually we go for multiple, wow, we just go for a bunch of Dragon Dance in front of him, and then he goes for a Sucker Punch. Does it have nothing to attack me? We're able to go for an Aqua Tail and knock out the Duck Trio. She can switch into her Flygon next, which is terrible. Ice Fang will knock her out. Her next Pokemon will be a Gastrodon, which we're able to 2-shot with a Crunch. And then her final Pokemon will be a Mudsdale, which we're able to 1-shot. And we're able to beat down Hapu as the final Kahuna in the game. We can go into our final trial against this Como, which isn't too difficult. We start the battle off against him using my Talonflame. Talonflame's able to go for an Acrobatics after he protects, and it'll 2-shot the Como. Takes a Clanger Scale, which isn't too bad. We're able to knock him out in the following turn. And the level cap is wrong, it should be 55 plus, but I just forgot to change it, my bad guys. From there we're going to face off against Lusamine. Lusamine is the final mini boss fight in the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Talonflame, and Talonflame completely walls this Clefable, unless it goes for like, I don't know, a Power Gem or something from Metronome. I should be pretty fine, as we're able to get +6 with Swords Dance and then Roost off all the damage she does. I don't think she does enough damage to warrant me using Roost at all, so we're able to go for an Acrobatics and 2-shot the Clefable. From there we're able to knock out the Mismagius, knock out the Milotic, knock out the Beware, which I was kind of scared of even though I was +6, knock out the Lilligant, and her final Pokemon, her final Pokemon is the Lilligant, so we're going to beat down Lusamine pretty easily, and we're also going to face off against Hao right before the Elite Four, which we're going to beat super easily. Gyarados is just super broken, you know, things are very simple. From there we're going to face off against the Elite Four, we're going to head into the Elite Four, talk to Professor Kukui, and now we're going to face off against the Elite Four itself. So to begin our Elite Four challenge, we're going to face off against Hala, our rematch against Hala. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Talonflame, as he uses a Hariyama against me. Kind of unfortunately didn't get Flame Body, but I got Swords Dance off as he goes for a close combat, and it does a lot of damage, and I have to knock him out this turn. Cannot go for a Roost. If I go for a Roost, I actually just lose my Talonflame. So, lucky enough, Acrobatics will just sweep with +2, as we're to knock out the Hariyama in one shot, the Poliwrath, and also the Primate. His next Pokemon will be a Crabano, which I was kind of scared of, but I'm able to one-shot him. And his final Pokemon will be a Beware, which I am actually scared of this one. So, I switched out into my Gyarados, and Gyarados will handle this thing pretty... Wow, that did not do any damage. That did not do any damage at all. So I switched out into my cheated Toxapex. I'll own up to my mistakes. You know, I just couldn't do it. So I'm gonna always call it a cheated Toxapex. But I'm able to just knock him down to low HP and try to rinse through. I used up a lot of my Scald PP, which is kind of annoying. But my cheated Toxapex will eventually be able to knock out the Beware with a burn, which is very nice. And from there, we're gonna face off against the next Elite Four member. We're gonna face off against Olivia. Olivia is the second Elite Four member. She's also, you know, still the Rock type. So we're going to go into her battle using my Pangaro. I'm actually really liking pandas lately. On my TikTok For You page, I've been seeing red pandas, and they might be the cutest things in the world. But from there, we're going to go for Swords Dance and then knock out the Relicanth with a Sky Uppercut. Her next Pokemon will be a Carbink, and then I'm going to switch out into my cheated Toxapex, which is able to get a few Scalds on him, and then a Toxic on him, which is nice. But I also get Toxic Spikes on the floor, which is very good. From there, I'm able to knock out the Carbink using my cheated Toxapex. Her next Pokemon will be a Probopass, which recovered, and then it uses Thunder Wave. Again, I'm telling you, it always goes for Thunder Wave against me. Even though, look, it's stuck using Thunder Wave. It has other moves. I'm pretty sure it has Electric move too. I go into my Eradicate, which was a dumb play because it can get melted down, unfortunately. So I had to switch out into my Cheetah Toxapex once again. Unfortunately, it's going to take a while, using up a lot of my Skull PP. Eventually, I switch out to my Pangoro to use the Sky Uppercut on it, but it's unfortunately going to stay asleep the entire time. And then I switch out to my Gyarados, it gets paralyzed. Lucky enough, finally something happens. Aqua Tail will knock him out though, and then his next Pokemon will be a Golem. From there, I decided to switch out into my Rampardos. You know what? I didn't give a ground move to, for some reason. I don't know why, but I used Rock Tomb against the Golem, and it's not doing a lot of damage. So I switched out into my Toxapex, which is able to go for a Scald and a Recover in front of him. Eventually, I'm able to knock out the Golem, and I'm very scared of this Lycanroc. If it goes for a Z move, my Cheetah Toxapex will die, so I have to go for a Recover and hope. It goes for a Stone Edge and I live it, so that is very lucky, as I'm able to just recover all the HP. From there, she can go for a Z move, and I barely survive it, so it works out. I'm able to go for a Recover and then Scald to knock out the Lycanroc, which is very nice. From there, we're able to beat down Olivia, and yeah, very lucky she didn't go for a Z move turn 1. From there, we can face up against Accelera. Accelera is the Ghost type Elite Four member, and this should be a little easier. So I start the battle off against her using my Gyarados. She goes for a Confuse Ray immediately, so I can't play around getting another Dragon Dance. So I decided, since I'm at full HP, why not go for it? So I decided to just try to sweep her. Aqua Tail will one-shot the Sableye. Her next Pokemon will be a Frostlass, which I go for a Crunch, breaks through the Confusion. Super easy. Her next Pokemon will be Dhelmise, which I do break through again, but doesn't one-shot her, as she goes for a Slam, but I'm able to just break through Confusion, Crunch, knock her out. Her next Pokemon will be a Palossand, which I go for an Aqua Tail and one-shots it. Surprising. I thought it was more tankier. Her next Pokemon will be a Drifloon, and yeah, I Ice Fanged it, and it freezes it. So no worries at all, even though I got confused. I got hit one time this entire battle. I'm able to Ice Fang once again, take an Aftermath, but I still beat down a Drifloon, and I beat down a Accelera, as ready to clear through the 3rd Elite Four member and head into the 4th Elite Four member, which is going to be Kahili. Kahili is going to be the Flying type Elite Four member, and we're going to start the battle off against her using my Talonflame. Because she starts with a Skarmory, it's a free setup in front of me, so I go for 3 Swords Dance. She does a lot of damage with Slash. As you can see, she crits me so many times. I got a Flame Body on her and force her to use a Full Restore, but I also have to Roost Up, and lucky enough she gets burned again. And from there, I'm able to go for Flame Charges to knock out the Skarmory, which is very nice. And since I'm at +6, I'm pretty sure I sweep down her entire team, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go for an Acrobatics, knock out the Manabus, which, very strong Pokemon, very tanky. From there, she can switch out into her Toucannon, which goes down as well. Her next Pokemon will be an Oricorio, which I go for an Acrobatics in one shot, and her final Pokemon will be a Crobat, and it goes down in one shot, as we're able to beat down Kahili super easily. Now finally, we're going to face out against the champion of the game. We're going to face out, well, I'm the champion. Professor Kukui wants to face off against me. So he's going to start the battle off against me. He's trying to red and blue me, but I'm going to start the battle off against his Lycanroc using my Pangoro. Now this might be a silly play, because I'm just going to eventually sacrifice my Pangoro, because I know what's going to happen next. I go for +6 on my Pangoro. I have Bullet Punch as a move, so I could one-shot the Lycanroc. Looking enough, it doesn't have Focus Sash. That would have been really bad. But he's going to switch out into his Primarina next, which obviously is going to be a big threat to my team. I go for a Bullet Punch. I could have switched out to my Toxapex, thinking back to it, but I think this was overall better. I got Primarina out early, and I'm able to knock him out. Maybe I should have saved it, but Toxapex would have had a lot of things to handle then. But I don't know. I go out against a Alolan Ninetales with my Toxapex, with my Cheetah Toxapex. I go for a Toxic Spikes and then go for a Scald Burn, and eventually I'm able to just chip it down slowly with Scald and Recover. And you know, no one really wants to watch this. This is basically a simulation of what Gen 7 OU looks like. Toxapex stalling, and you can't do anything about it. After the Ninetales run out of Blizzard, I go out into my Talonflame and I roost off in front of, and then I start setting up against him. I'm able to get +6 with my Talonflame and also Flame Charge to knock him out. He then goes out to his Magnet Zone, which I know is going to happen. I was kind of hoping he just goes for Thunder Wave and then just leaves me alone, but he goes for Thunderbolt, knocks me out. He's a big scare to my team, so obviously it was going to be like that anyways. So 2 deaths on my team already, but I go out to my Raticate. Raticate's able to knock out the Magnet Zone. Then from there, he can switch out to his Bravery, which I'm able to go for a Hyper Fang against him, 2-shot him, as he goes for a Whirlwind and then switches me out. I go to my Gyarados. Gyarados does nice damage. He's gonna get Whirlwind out as well, as I go out into my Toxapex, which is able to Scald him and knock him out. His final Pokemon will be a Snorlax, which I decided to just go out into my Gyarados to lower his attack stat, and then go out to my Rampardos, and then finish Professor Kukui off in style using a Head Smash. And unfortunately, I missed the first one. I get Heavy Slammed. I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure I survived the Head Smash. Poor calculations on my part. I know I knock him out, but I knocked myself out as well. So Rampardos just got sacrificed at the end. So I just got 3 deaths. Oh my god. I think all the deaths at the end were actually the most unfortunate ones in the world, because they were also unnecessary. I didn't need to lose all these Pokemon. I'm not gonna lie. I think I played that so poorly. Anyways, I ended up beating Pokemon Moon Hardcore Nuzlocke. Actually, I know I didn't, because I cheated in the Toxapex. But you know what? If you take that out, we ended up beating Pokemon Moon Hardcore Nuzlocke using only red color shinies. So anyways, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys will forgive me for cheating in the Toxapex, because you know I just couldn't deal with the SOS chaining. Anyways, that'll be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys can, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Anyways, my name's been Alpha. Hope you guys all had a great day, and I'm out. Peace.